Okay, this is the third in a series of short videos about getting started in leadership. And I want to talk about something you may think, why is this so near the front, finances? But I want to talk about finances. And because, I had the wonderful advantage of being around Lauren and Darlene and a number of other mature people in my first year with YWAM. But remember, Lauren was 33 when I started, and was just getting started running schools, and he was not and is not a systematic mentor, but he did say a few things when he challenged us to start to work in England, and one of the things he said is he said, "Len, live as if you're already well known." And I of course said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "Look, who knows? Maybe one day you will be fairly widely known, and you don't want to have, for example, years when you didn't file income tax returns, even though you don't have to pay income taxes because you don't have any money. File your returns." He said, and from the very beginning, set up a bank account for the ministry. Don't run it out of your own account, and don't run it out of your pocket. So the few things that were really stuck with us. And then I also had the advantage of marrying his secretary. So she had already been running the YWAM office in California for a while. And she was a lot more experienced and knowledgeable than I was about the financial matters and how to run them. But I've learned over the years that financial integrity is just crucial. It seems to me that if we're not really open and transparent about finances, then people will always tend to be suspicious. That's almost a default position for all of us when it comes to money. If we see somebody doing well, we in a YWAM setting, we think, where did the money come from? Are they taking ministry money? There are all kinds of things that people can get suspicious about. And that's okay. What you have to do as a leader is completely diffuse that with openness and transparency. So what does that mean? Well, it means, as Lauren advised, you set up a separate account. First, it was just Marty and me. Within a couple months, other people started coming. But we could have just set up, like we rented a couple of rooms in a house. We could have rented them in our name, but we didn't. We set up a separate entity. We were able in this country to start YWAM as a charitable company fairly quickly. So we set it up in the name of YWAM. We opened accounts. But you may be in a country where you can't do that, but still set up some kind of other entity. Don't run it all out of your own name. If you end up running all the money and team money through your account and signing rents and buying properties all in your name, it's not going to go well. Try to find, there will be a way. There's always a way to find another entity to run the ministry out of. But also be very careful that you don't take benefits from the finances of the ministry that are not available to others. Now, I have to qualify that a bit. There was a time when I started having wider leadership responsibilities and needing to travel farther and more. And at that time, a lot of us in international leadership were funding our expenses for our airfares and all out of a tithe of our base. But in the long run, I thought I don't think I'm supposed to do that. So I worked towards and was able to come to the point where it all comes out of money that I raise for my, I call it my office, but it's my ministry responsibilities. Some of that is given by YWAM basis, but only just a tiny fraction of it. And that has worked out really well. But I went through this period where I had some responsibilities, obligations that we took the money for out of the ministry. But we did so in a transparent way. We did so with the others we had a leadership team by then, agreeing to the amount and keeping an eye on keeping good accounts of what was being spent, so that all of it was transparent and people knew it was happening. if you are taking those kinds of expenses and people don't know, then it's an opportunity for you to be discredited. So in every way you can, think about if somebody has come in and say they've come from maybe even a church background where money was not open and where there were question marks about the integrity of the leadership and all. Think about what their perspective will be and think about what you should do to be sure that when they come onto your team or into your campus or whatever, they have full confidence that the leadership are transparent, good stewards, and do not take advantages that nobody else has. Be sure that you never do anything that you don't want other people to know about. Because when that happens, then that is basically a cover-up. And it's one thing to do something wrong. People don't trust you much. But if you then cover it, you lose all respect from them. So in these matters of finances, I would urge you to put some real thought and prayer into it, take some advice, go online and read stuff or read stuff out of books, but find out everything you can about good stewardship of finances, because that's a part of your ability to attract and to keep good people to work with you on your team and the ministry that you're called to.